Not gonna do that. Because I have something else in my box that I need to add first. I'm gonna add in some magnolia. This is the same way, but I can actually cut this in pieces. This is the same magnolia that if you look at that bejeweled tree, first thing we did was load like 24 stems of this into the tree. Yeah. So I'm going to layer this in. I'm kind of to the end. This one I didn't cut. I'm going to bend it backwards and then just keep on going. If nothing else, then what that stem does is reinforce the spine of my garland. And if you need a really stiff, you know, need it to hold up, that's a great way to go. Okay. And I'll layer this last piece in, bend that back. Now I'm going to put the berries in. Okay, so I'm starting, if you notice, it's by weight. So if I put the magnolia over the berries, I would cover up a lot of the berries with the magnolia. So the magnolia has much more weight. It's not as delicate. So now I'm going to take the berries and add them over the magnolia.
So you're not fussing fluffing with every person.
I'm not what?
Everything down, everything wired in, and then fluffing.
Yeah. Yeah. If I fluffed as I went, I mean, which you definitely can, but you'll find that you have to move something out of the way to get to the next thing that you layer in. So it's not always necessary to fluff everything as you go. So I can take this, get all the stuff wired in, and then manipulate things into place. Or get the bulk of what I need in, then manipulate it before I put the top dressing in. So did that same thing, just flip back that one berry. Okay. I like it just like this. There are installations, could be just this. It is dark. We are fortunate every year, and at first when I heard we were decorating hospice, I was a little bit like, hospice. You know, my mom died of cancer when I was 12 years old. So, yeah. But honestly, it's one of the best jobs we do. So we'll go in. I remember the first time we did it, there's a big 12-foot tree that's in the main gathering area. It's in the family space. And when we went in there, there was a husband and wife, and the wife wheeled the husband in. And you would never have known that this man needed hospice care. He was just, you know, nice, pleasant, carried on conversation, but was a patient there. And you know, you're thinking, this is their last Christmas. And we decorated before Thanksgiving. And they wanted us to decorate before Thanksgiving for that reason, you know. Some people don't make it to their last Christmas. This was their last Christmas. But it just kind of put everything in perspective about why and how important the holidays are and how important that job is. So, yeah, it's hospice, but you have to look beyond that and go, I'm creating memories that are good and positive for somebody's, you know, potentially final Christmas. Anyway, but I digress. So anyway, that's very natural. So if you look at that woodland tree minus the trains running through it, that's the feel of the hospice decor. It's birch and berries and birds and very natural, and it's everything is just very peaceful, woodsy, very cool. Okay, I am going to move to the ribbon next, and this is not wired ribbon. This is just standard velvet ribbon. And it does kind of have, if you look at it, a plummy backside. But I did this ribbon versus the gold because I didn't want really gold in this. It's kind of a sort of organic, sort of, but I got a little glitter, maybe. Now, if this was a corporate installation, I'd be hating life next year when I get to this ribbon. Because there's no wire. If this were a fresh garland, this might be a ribbon I would use. But as a rule, for most normal decor, I'm going to use wired edge ribbon. And it's purely longevity and sanity. So I did kind of a more up and down bow. I'm just fastening it off with bind wire. I'm going to add it into the end here, or near the end. I'm not going to run it all the way through, but I'll run a few loops, and then I'll pick up and start again. And then this is mainly for color. This is mainly to get this really richer wine berry color in here. This is going to be very kind of darker, moodier, because those berries themselves, when you look at them, they're kind of frosted and crackled. And I don't mind that. And even if some of that looks like white is showing through, it doesn't bother me because the overall look is frosted. So, right. So that's what you'll find as you layer things and layer color on. You'll find that certain colors will make other colors pop. So when you put the burgundy in those berries comes out. When I add purple, the purple tones in these berries will come out. So I started it with a little mini bow. I'm going to do the same thing. You notice I don't make a center belly button? Because I was told in design school it was waste of ribbon. That's what I was told in design school. There are times I like a center knot in a very formal bow. Most of the time I don't even see the center, so it is a waste of ribbon. But there are times when you need a more formal finished center. A lot of times I'm gluing something right into the middle of that bow and I don't want a center. So most of the time I don't use a center. 2 per side, 4 loops. And really, it's kind of up and down. It's kind of a thing. Yeah, picked unit bows were also something I learned in design school. I went to design school in Chicago, American Floral Arts. I ran across my notebooks of stuff that I learned in design school. And I went, what? I learned that in design school? Which is stuff like, principles and elements of design, which you would think you would learn in design school. But did I know that I learned principles and elements of design when I was just starting out as a designer? No. I don't even know that they called it that. I'm sure they did, but I don't remember it. And I certainly didn't retain it. Until you start going, oh, why doesn't this work? Oh, yeah. It's not balanced. It doesn't have repetition. My line is off. That's where I was saying you can go through like a mental checklist. So line, form, space, color, texture, pattern, size, elements of design. Principles of design are things like balance, proportion, dominance. Those are the bigger things for me. They kind of are the rules, the bigger rules within the framework of the elements. Anyway, don't quote me on that. But balance, proportion, dominance, that's your big focal area. Do you have an area where your eye naturally comes to rest? Contrast, rhythm, how your eye moves through a piece. Harmony, does it all work together? Or is it a horrible hot mess? And unity, does the whole thing work together as one cohesive piece? All those things kind of govern how I ultimately design. Did I know that I used those before? No. Okay, so I've got my my ribbon just for that color running through. Okay. And then I'm going to add in and these are actually from the other side. They're not in this holiday room. But I liked them for the color because I'm going to add in these. So we're really layering shades of burgundy. We're layering textures, shiny matte and glitter with this matte plum. So we're going to get these in. I'm actually going to pop the purple in first. Then I'm going to surround it with, I'm going from big to small. Okay, so I'm going to pop these. Probably can't see a thing, but we'll, we'll make it so you can. So I've got 6 of these, and I have about a 6-foot garland, but I'm not necessarily going to put them every foot. I'm going to have 2 that are closer together and 2 that are farther apart. Moving back and forth from each side of my design. Burying some under the ribbon. Someone was wanting purple? Okay. Gotta have purple. Okay. So I've got my purple through there. I'm going to add this in later, and that's going to balance out where my purple is, but we're going to move on to these. So I'll have 2 of each style, 2 shiny, 2 matte, 2 glitter. Hello, stay, stay, stay. And I'll typically place all of one style first. So like when I'm designing a centerpiece, I'm going to put all my hydrangea in first. Then I'm going to put all my quicksand roses in. Then I'm going to put all my whatever else in. So same thing. When I'm designing this, instead of going, ooh, shiny, ooh, glitter, ooh, matte, I'm going to put all my shinies in now. Consider it the hydrangea of my design. Okay. And I want to make sure I come on the other side of the bow as well. So I have 4 of each. Again, I'm going to try to get as close to the spine because if I glue this out to the end of a frond, it's going to dangle in the wind. If I need it to dangle in the wind, I will probably wire it to dangle in the wind, but not try to glue it onto the end of a frond because then it'll look like it's just a mistake. So then we'll go ahead and do the matte. And I'm not going to be afraid to put a couple of ornaments right next to each other. A little more random. Then I'm going to do my glitter. The nice thing about glue is it's quick. If I had to wire all these in, and there are times when you do, wouldn't be able to get it done quite so fast. Okay. Now, I could have put these in earlier. Perhaps I should have put these in earlier. But now I can strategically place them. So usually you're working bigger to small. Rules are made to be broken. Or you could say, Loann forgot she had these in the box. All of those are valid. But now it's also, I can distribute this color, this shiny, among all the others. And I do like this ornament.
Yeah, that is cool.
Nice, multifaceted, very cool. You would not know it's plastic. It's unbreakable. That is not true.
Oh, really?
I can break it. You drop it from high enough, it'll definitely break. But they do bounce real well. I've broken a few. I haven't broken this one though. Okay, so here's that other one. So plastic, when dropped from a high enough precipice, yes, it will shatter. So this one, I had that, so instead of, I can actually wire this on. And in the right, for the right application, if I had to wire this entire thing, I could. Marion's Pizza, for example. Marion's Pizza is but you see how it's not quite in the same place? So we're gonna just glue it in. But there are certain situations, like we have one pizza place that we decorate, and it can get a little warm in there. And after several years of having the same ornaments that are glued in, they'll fall like rain throughout the holiday season. So just know where everything is going. So here. Okay. And see, that ribbon does kind of become an afterthought. It's just pulling that color all the way through. Okay, couple more pieces. Yeah. These are those, I'm just testing the front row. These are the ones that you can just do this, and they're fluffed. So I'm going to cut these. We're going to glue these all in. These are beautiful. See, just pop those open. They're very sturdy. I think these are windward. Really nice. And then you can also work from least expensive to most expensive, in addition to your size, large to small. So the things that I really want to show, if I put these in first and I layered everything else over them, then these might not show. And it's kind of like when you're designing in fresh. You know, you've got those beautiful garden roses. I typically don't insert those first. If I'm layering from depth to out, I might add those last. Okay. They have the beautiful center. I'm going to have to refresh my glue pan. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to top with just that little bit of the purple, whatever that is. What do you think that is? What is it supposed to be? Maybe? I don't know. But it's in nice little clumps. So I'm just going to take that, fold it up, and then add that in. So it's in more clusters like it would naturally grow, 2s and 3s.
I like how it's kind of,
And that's going to give you more, yeah, it's going to give you more depth, keeping that stem length. Running out of glue. If I add the glue now, ugh, not good. So I think I'm just going to use 2 of these stems. Just pull those apart. And then this is where you could take your final pass through and go tweak and pull and move and, oh, scraping the bottom of the, and a couple more in the center. And I'm going to try it again, put them just like I do with the berries in different directions, not everything in the same direction. And then we'll do this, and everybody thinks you're crazy because you're getting all the cobwebs off. Or you can do a hairdryer. Hairdryer works too. Okay, we'll put those away. And then we do this, which makes you look like you're crazy. Okay.